Sophie smiled, a little nervous but confident enough to wave at the class. The only empty seat was beside Jake. "Mind if I sit here?" she asked. Jake shrugged with a shy smile. "Go ahead." For the first few weeks, they barely spoke outside of class. They compared notes, laughed about impossible homework assignments, and quietly competed to see who could finish quizzes first. One rainy afternoon, Sophie forgot her umbrella. Jake noticed as everyone rushed outside. "You can share mine," he said. "It's tiny," Sophie laughed, looking at the small umbrella. "We'll survive." As they walked through the rain, their shoulders bumped every few steps. They laughed more than they talked, and somehow the walk home felt far too short. From then on, they became inseparable. They studied together at the library, cheered each other on at school events, and spent lunches sitting under the old oak tree near the football field. Jake discovered Sophie loved photography, while Sophie learned Jake secretly wrote songs on his guitar but never played them for anyone. "You should perform at the talent show," Sophie told him. "No chance. I'll be in the front row." "You'd still laugh. I'd clap the loudest." After weeks of convincing, Jake finally signed up. On the night of the talent show, his hands shook as he stepped onto the stage. The gymnasium was packed. Then he spotted Sophie in the front row, smiling exactly like she promised. He played the song he'd written. When he finished, the room erupted in applause. Afterwards, Sophie ran over and hugged him. "I told you," she said. Jake grinned. "You were right." Winter arrived, bringing holiday decorations and the annual school dance. Jake spent an hour practicing what he wanted to say. When he finally found Sophie decorating the gym after school, every rehearsed sentence disappeared, so he began. So she teased, "Would you maybe go to the dance with me?" He smiled before he could finish. "I was wondering how long it would take you to ask." At the dance, they laughed through slow songs, sang loudly to every familiar tune, and forgot everyone else was there. Later that evening, they stepped outside into the cool air. Snowflakes had just started to fall. "It's beautiful," Sophie whispered. Jake looked at her. "Instead of the snow, it really is." He caught him staring. "Were you talking about the snow?" "Maybe not." She laughed and took his hand. By spring, everyone at school knew they were together. They supported each other through exams, celebrated soccer victories, and encouraged each other's dreams. When Sophie won first place in the school photography contest, Jake surprised her by framing her winning picture. When Jake was named soccer team captain, Sophie was the first person cheering from the sidelines. Graduation arrived sooner than either expected. Standing together in their caps and gowns, they looked back at the school where everything had begun. "Funny," Sophie said. "What?" "If the only empty seat hadn't been next to you," Jake smiled. "I would have found another reason to meet you." As they walked across the football field one last time, hand in hand, they realized high school hadn't just given them memories. It had given them each other, and the beginning of a love story they hoped would last long after graduation.